Welcome to Mindzilla, the only podcast where your brain might actually get bigger or just melt entirely.
We're not liable for cranial leakage, by the way.
Speak for yourself. I'm Jess, Chaos Merchant and Tinfoil Hat Ambassador.
And I'm Luke, your skeptical co-pilot just trying to survive another week of Jess's conspiracy corner without blowing a neuron.
Every week on Mindzilla, we dive into juicy debates like Am I the Asshole? Spoiler alert, probably.
We bring you a fresh brain gain idea to flex those mental muscles.
Not those gym muscles, calm down, Chad.
Then we hit you with the Hope Protocol, our antidote to doom scrolling. Some wholesome, brain-hugging news to make humanity seem less trash.
And finally, my true calling, Conspiracy Corner, where I lovingly melt Luke's brain with cults, cover-ups, and questions no one asked.
So many questions no one asked.
And if that's not enough madness for you, we've got a shiny, sinister little Patreon you're gonna wanna join.
For just £3 a month, slap on your tinfoil hat and get access to our weekly Mythbusters-style deep dives debunking everything from brainwashing to Bigfoot.
And if you're ready to fully vibe with us, grab your Geiger counter tier for £6 a month. That gets you another extra, more personal episode every Wednesday, where we overshare wildly and let you in our intimate little mental circus.
We're talking weird dreams, life stuff, and Jess's unfiltered theories that didn't make it to pass Spotify's legal team.
It was one lizard queen joke too far.
Follow us on social media, subscribe to the pod, and listen free every week on Spotify or YouTube. Audio only because
Our faces are classified.
too hot for the algorithm.
This is Mindzilla. Feed your brain, question everything, and remember,
They don't want you to listen to this. Hello.
hello everybody.
I'm going to kick off with Am I the Asshole? Am I the asshole for telling my husband that I don't want to be a single mum of 3 kids? So my husband, 42 male, and me, 31 female, have been married for 12 years. We have 2 kids, 8 male and 4 female. Our marriage is not great. His mother and sister often give unsolicited advice on my parenting. Our marriage and life in general, it is better in the last few months since I sit down with my husband multiple times. We talked, and this time he listened, so they backed off. Not completely, but it was better. In the last few weeks, husband started mentioning having a 3rd child, which fills me with dread. I love children. I always wanted a big family, but it would be too much. I cook, clean, take care of the kids, and work part-time from home. He doesn't really help with house chores, which I am fine with, nor with kids, which is a problem. I changed all diapers, woke up at night, I take care of fevers, doctor appointments, school, play dates, everything. Mere thought of now going through another pregnancy than taking care of a baby makes me want to cry. I know I'll have to do it all practically alone. Because my husband provides and women have been doing it for centuries. I should pull my weight and not be spoiled. It all accumulated last night after another of his I take great care of you and the kids and we should have a 3rd monologues. I snapped. I told him that he really doesn't. The kids barely know him. When he comes home from work, he doesn't pay attention to them except to snap on our daughter when she is too loud. He doesn't know anything about our days because he doesn't ask, and I stopped telling him because he wasn't listening anyway. He is not a great father nor husband, as he likes to preach, and I have no desire to be a single mum of a 3rd child. 2 are quite enough, thank you. He stared at me dumbfounded, then called me a C-word, delusional, grateful, then stormed out to his mother house. So am I the asshole?
She's not the asshole, he's the asshole. She's already a single mom. How is she making more kids with him?
No idea.
No. It's like I'm hearing a story from the 1920s,
Yeah.
not this day and age.
So we have an update in the comments. Hi to everyone. I don't know how to add more information and update, so I'm doing it in the comments. Thank you all for taking time to comment and give me advice. It means a lot. For clarification, Husband and I dated for only 9 months. We meet and get married when I was 18. I turned 31 a few days ago, and I can't imagine being attracted to, let alone marrying an 18-year-old. It freaks me out, but at the time or even for years, I don't think like that. Whatever happens with my marriage, I am not having another child. That is something that I am not changing my mind about. I'm on birth control, but I also don't plan to have sex anytime soon. I just can't. I called my sister, call her M, told her everything, so she showed up with food, wine, and her husband. He took my kids to their house so they will have a sleepover, and M stayed with me. He is more worried about me than the man I'm actually married to. My husband is still with his parents, didn't call or text. My mother-in-law called, but I didn't pick up. I am just so angry and sad right now to speak with her. I will update when I have a talk with my husband and know what happened next.
They still have those sort of mentalities, like the dad sees them once a day, so he's like a super dad. It's already very present.
Yeah, but she's already said that he's not present. He literally comes home from work and doesn't even interact with the kids.
Yeah, but
If you're going to be that kind of mentality, provide for your family,
yeah,
you also got to look after your family, look after your kids,
exactly.
be there with your kids, ask your partner how her day was, what she's planning on doing, that kind of stuff. Like,
Yeah.
be in the moment with your partner, not.
And people just think like she's probably at home taking after the kids while he's at work for like 8 hours. He comes home and gets to do whatever the hell he wants. She works 24 hours.
Yeah.
That's the thing that most people don't see. Well, people now see and appreciate that. So that's why I said that this looks like a story from the 1920s.
Yeah. We have another update.
Okay.
Hello to everyone. I wanted to update since a lot of people were worried about me and a lot has happened. For ones who don't want to read a long post, things turned ugly, but I am safe and I decided to get a divorce since husband and I couldn't agree in how a marriage should look like. Now for a long update. Morning after I made this post, my mother-in-law and sister-in-law showed up at my house. At this point, there was still no word from my husband. Let's call him Ray. It was obvious that their son married anymore.
Yeah, she was a girl when he married her.
I said, of course I'm not. He married a teenager. I'm now a grown woman.
Exactly.
She turned beet red and started screaming at me, to which M said she is going to call the police if she doesn't calm down. After a few insults, mostly how I'm abusing her son and how bad of a mother I am, they left. Ray showed up a few hours later, not to ask about our children or to see how I am, but to berate me on how I treated his mother. Again, I think M being there changed his plan since he toned it down when she came downstairs. He demanded for her to leave. She refused and said that she is going to go upstairs so we can have a conversation, but she is not going anywhere until I ask her to, which I didn't. He started with basically saying that I am a bad wife, that I don't love him since I don't want more kids, and I blamed him for it. I shouldn't be speaking with him like that. He is a great father to our kids, etc. I asked which kids. Kids he hasn't seen in 3 days and didn't ask how or where they are. He then freaked out when I told him they are at brother-in-law and M's house, calling them both vile names that I don't want to repeat. A conversation lasted an hour and nothing productive came out of it. We were going in circles. I was scared because he multiple times started grinding his teeth and putting his hands in fists, but he would calm down after a few seconds. I said if he is not willing to work on our marriage and thinks that it is completely in the right, we should get a divorce. He at first said fine, if that's what I want, I should pack my stuff and leave. I started packing. He ranted how I'm going to live without him, how a blood vessel from rage. I said, I don't care anymore. We are getting a divorce. Only questions are about logistics and our kids. To not make this post even longer, this also went in circles. Then he grabbed my shoulders and started shaking me. M got involved. They started pushing each other. I called the police. We managed to push him through the door and lock it. He left before the police came. We gave statements. I stayed at the house. I am fine, but it has a few scratches. Currently, I'm bombarded with texts from his family. Again, not a peep from him. I am filing for divorce. I don't know why I thought that this can end any differently, but I am also glad that I tried. For people who found my previous posts, I'm ashamed of how I speak about M, but I was envious until I realized that I was projecting my unhappiness with my life onto her. She didn't deserve it. She was and still is an amazing sister and even better person. Thank you all. I got amazing advice and words of encouragement. Intech can also be full of wonderful people, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you.
Wow, things turn up
That
worse
got
than I
intense.
thought.
It's also abusive.
Yeah.
Second update.
Oh, dear.
Hi everyone. It's been a while since I posted and probably not a lot of people remember my post. But people were messaging me to see if I was okay, so I wanted to update. I am officially divorced as of this morning. We signed the papers a few days ago, but today I got divorce certificates. So much has happened, I don't think people would believe me if I tried to type it all, so I'm going to do just most important stuff. In the weeks after I made my post, my ex, Ray, decided that he wants to work on our marriage, that he will try to be a better husband and win me back. That mostly consisted of him harassing me, calling me constantly from multiple numbers, sending me flowers, chocolates and candy. I don't even eat sweets, and showing up at randomly at places where I regularly go. We live in a small town, around 15k people, so it becomes town's gossip. Felt like everyone was talking about me. My ex-mother-in-law tried really hard to paint me as some mentally unstable, nasty person who just one day decided to destroy a family. She attacked me at a child's birthday party when I was dropping off my son, sister-in-law child's birthday. Then she tried to say bad things about me to my kids. Luckily, Ray put a stop to that. She did everything and anything to make me feel like S-word, while saying that she would like nothing more than for Ray and me to get back together.
Really?
Makes no sense.
If she's so bad, why
Yeah.
do you want her with your son?
The devil. But yeah, I want you to get back together.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to keep her from my kids, so I let them spend time with her father-in-law, sister-in-law, and her kids. She took my kids to the park, and she knows I think it's unsafe. It is unsafe, old and rusty. She also took them to buy them shoes. I know this is a weird thing to be angry and hurt about, but I have some childhood trauma and I need to know that their shoes fit right and I'm not too small. It's not a big thing overall, but she did it intentionally to hurt me. I lost it when I came to pick them up and was told they bought new shoes. Everyone was there. Mother-in-law, father-in-law, sister-in-law, brother-in-law, and Ray. So I just screamed at everyone. I called mother-in-law names that I didn't even know I knew. Told Ray that he is a spineless, worthless excuse for a man. Called father-in-law a houseplant. It makes more sense in my language, basically. I called him useless. And told sister-in-law that she is very brave when she gossiped, but is a doormat to her husband and mother. Luckily, kids were outside, so they knew we were fighting, but didn't hear what we said. Nobody said anything to me. They were shocked. I had to call my sister on my way home because I didn't think I could drive, so I parked and waited. She picked me up, we put the kids to bed, and I just cried. I cried for 5 hours straight. I hated who I become. I was sad or angry all the time. Everyone annoyed me. It was just awful. I did get better. Next time Ray cornered me in a grocery store, I threatened to call the police, and when he kept calling, I actually did. Police told me that they will give him a warning. They told him next time he tries to speak to me and is not directly about children, he will spend the night in jail and he will get harassment charges. Police officers also gave me his personal number if I want clarification on what can be reported. Again, small place. We went to the same school. I joined a group that my sister started where we do things in community, like we would get together and pick trash from parks, paint fences or benches, get older people to appointments or get them groceries, things like that. I started cleaning a house for an older lady with cancer who lived alone. She insisted to start paying me, and combined with my part-time job and rent, me and my sister inherit a house from our mother that we rent out and split the money. Now I have a decent income. After many, many awful, exhausting weeks, Ray agreed to divorce me. I agreed to not get alimony if I get to stay in the house with kids, only child support. I don't want my kids to suffer, but it did make me sad that they didn't seem to miss their father. School therapists talked with them and they are fine. They accept the divorce as much as they understand due to their age. We had a lot of conversations about what this means for them, me, and Ray. They are good while they're just children. But it made me feel stupid and incompetent, which I was doing all this year. Doing everything for a man that was such a bad parent that his kids didn't even miss him. How dumb am I? I started going outside more, spend more time with people, and it's great. Turns out that no matter how much mother-in-law tried, it's hard to convince people that I'm a bad person, since a lot of them know me since I was a child, and they also know my ex-husband's family. So there's that. Thank you all. I was very confused and very scared when I posted, but I'm so glad that I did. A lot of you helped and made me see things clearly, and I'm forever going to be grateful.
Yeah, people in small communities see right through that. Wow.
Told you it was a long one.
Bless her.
Yeah.
And
He's an asshole.
the kids not missing him tells a lot about
that tells a story.
Yeah, I understand. I'm all for being a trad wife. I would love for you to go work and I just stay home, look after kids and stuff.
No.
But I still need you to be a dad.
Yeah.
You still come home and be a dad to the kids. Not saying like do all the duties, but maybe bathe them and play with them.
Spend time with them.
Yeah, exactly.
Doing a little bit of chores.
Yeah, exactly. Doesn't even have to be chores because for the sounds of it, she would be happy just for him to like play with the kids when he gets home. That would be nice.
Actually play with them and interact with them.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell the story. The kids don't even care. Then they know that he's a worthless father.
Wow.
And
His family seems to be like him.
He seems arranged.
Mm.
Trying to pass all stories and that, but not the asshole. Husband, definitely an asshole. Glad you got a divorce and got out of that.
Wow.
But yeah, that was a juicy one.
Definitely.
Shall we carry on?
Yeah, let's move on.
Let's do it.
All right. So you've judged the assholes, sorted the moral compass, and now it's time to grab your metaphorical trench coat. Because this week, Mindzilla is cracking open a file cabinet so classified, even the paper clips are encrypted.
We're talking black budget programs, off-the-book experiments, and a little something called Project Looking Glass, which, depending who you ask, either predicted 9/11 or broke time itself.
Yes, the CIA may or may not have been peeking through a literally time machine powered by alien tech or quantum resonance fields that let them see the future timelines.
Which is a lot more exciting than what the rest of us were doing in 2001, downloading Limp Bizkit ringtones on dial-up.
Today kicks off a brand new arc here on Mindzilla, Spy-Fi and Stargates, the CIA's greatest and weirdest hits. We're doing a flyover of the most bizarre projects ever whispered about in government halls. Psychic spies, LSD orgies, and operations with names like Midnight Climax. Real, not even kidding. Alright. Let's zoom out first. Before we zero in on Project Looking Glass, we need to ask one massive migraine-inducing question.
Why the hell does the CIA have so many bizarre, sci-fi sounding programs with names like they're trying to win a Scrabble tournament on acid?
It's like they were just pulling letters out of a hat. Hey guys, what should we name the mind control program? What about MK Ultra? Sounds evil? Approved.
It's not just the names though, it's the pattern. You've got Project Artichoke, Project Bluebird, Project Stargate, not to mention Mockingbird, Monarch, and today's gem, Looking Glass.
It's like a black budget Hogwarts. Each one of these projects is a house. And instead of learning spells, you're learning how to erase memories, spend time, and physically spy on Soviet using only a spoon and a headache.
But here's the thing. The CIA didn't start out weird. After World War II, things escalated real fast. They were desperate to beat the Soviets in every possible way. Arms race? Check. Space race? Check. And then it got weird. Psychic race? Mind race? Soul race?
Enter the black budget. Billions in untraceable funding funneled into experimental, unethical, and sometimes completely bonkers research. The kind of stuff you'd expect from a Marvel villain's PowerPoint deck.
And just like with superheroes, it usually starts with one terrible idea that spirals into a whole cinematic universe of chaos. MK Ultra was the Iron Man of CIA weirdness. We already gave it a full Mindzilla treatment, so we're skipping the acid dose sex brothels today.
But keep it in mind, because once the CIA got a taste for bending reality, they didn't stop. They went deeper into psychic warfare, false flag experiments, secret courts, and yes, time viewing machines, supposedly buried under the Nevada desert.
So today's episode, think of it as your starter pack. The orientation video they forgot to show you when you got born into this simulation.
Welcome to the alphabet soup of secrets. Grab a spoon, we're just getting warm. Okay, so Project Looking Glass. This is the moment where we stop joking about microchipped vaccines and get sucked into a story that's either the most elaborate LARP of all time or literally quantum undoing of linear reality.
Can I just say, I thought we were going to talk about CIA wine coolers and LSD, not time portals and ancient Sumerian tech. I'm not emotionally prepared for this.
Too late, you already entered the wormhole. And yes, this story has wormholes. It also has stargates, alien download stations, whistleblowers who can't show their face, and a timeline convergence that may have ended history as we know it.
Oh my god.
Allegedly, Looking Glass was a top-secret device that allowed its users to view multiple future timelines, see probable outcomes of certain decisions, and potentially even influence events. It was reverse-engineered from ancient or extraterrestrial tech first discovered in Sumeria, Iraq, or beneath Area 51, depending on which flavor of conspiracy you pick.
They just found it?
The claim is that the ancient civilizations like the Sumerians and later the Egyptians had access to these Stargate-style devices. The US military supposedly stumbled upon one during operations in the Middle East. Some say that was the real reason for the Iraq War.
So forget oil, it was for a time machine buried under Babylon.
Exactly. Cue Indiana Jones team, but make it cursed. The main source for Looking Glass lore is a former Navy intelligence guy named Bill Wood, or at least that's the name he used. He claims he was a part of Black Ops missions, had access to this tech, and was briefed on its future-altering capacities.
Let me guess. No last name, no paper trail, no way to verify anything.
Correct. But here is where it gets weird. He's not alone. His claims were independently mirrored by others like Dan Borish, David Wilcock, and even some QAnon posters, who all describe the same basic thing, a donut-shaped device with a central core that emits a kind of gravitational lens, creating a holographic map of possible futures. This is where things get deliciously nerdy. According to the lore, the Looking Glass tech was based on rotating high-energy magnetic fields wrapped around a sphere of exotic matter. Think particle accelerator meets cosmic lava lamp.
Sounds like what happens when a Tesla coil mates with a bong.
Also accurate. Supposedly, the device reacts to the operator's consciousness, meaning it's not just tech, it's bio-spiritual interface. The mindset, belief, and even vibration frequency of the person using it determined what it showed.
You're telling me this thing only works if you're like spiritually hydrated?
Exactly. You can't use it if you're full of hate, fear, or in Mercury retrograde. It's basically a new age lie detector with a wormhole built in. Here's where the story takes a hard left into existential crisis. According to Wood and others, around the early 2000s, CIA scientists and military operators realized that all the timelines were being viewed by the device were starting to converge on a single point, December 21st, 2012. Kind of, but not physical destruction. Informational singularity. A moment when humanity would awaken, realize the manipulation, and begin choosing its own destiny. It was the end of controllable history.
So they couldn't predict past it?
Nope. The machine just glitched out. No more visions, just static. Some say it was like the future was being rewritten in real time, from the inside out.
That's horrifying. It's like the CIA was watching Netflix timelines and someone yanked the remote out of their hands.
This created panic within intelligence circles. One faction, the control group, wanted to use the tech to steer humanity towards a pre-programmed outcome. central authority, digital surveillance, transhumanism, the World Economic Forum starter pack.
The Great Reset, baby.
The other group, often called the White Hats, wanted to disable the machine, let natural evolution occur, and allow humanity to pass through the 2012 threshold unaided. Some say this war is still happening today, not over land, but over time itself.
Where do the aliens come in? Because I feel like we can't talk about time tech without a grey or two.
They're everywhere. Some say the tech was recovered from the Orion Group, a manipulative alien race that gifted humanity advanced tech with strings attached. Others claim the Zeta Reticulans tried to warn us. Don't use the looking glass. You'll trap yourselves in the wrong timeline.
This feels like when someone's hands you a cursed board game at a sleepover and just says, don't roll a 6.
Exactly. And guess what? We rolled a 6. Now, a rapid fire list of the craziest theories tied to this tech. 9/11 was foreseen using looking glass and allowed to proceed to maintain timeline control. CERN is the rebooted looking glass, a backdoor to alternate realities. The Mandela effect is residual fallout from timelines collapsing into one. QAnon drops were written with looking glass intel, creating predictive programming. The Secret Space Force uses looking glass to navigate multiversal events.
I'm officially scared. I want to go back to the days when my biggest fear was running out of petrol.
Too bad. Now we're knee-deep into quantum paranoia.
So what do we think? Is this legit?
Personally, I think some version of this tech could have existed. Maybe not full Stargate, but something that let them mess with consciousness, probably, or even enhance psychic feedback. They tested stranger things in MK Ultra, and that was proven real.
I believe they tried it. Whether it worked, no idea. But if you give a room of Pentagon nerds unlimited money and no oversight, this is exactly the kind of crap they would build.
And now it's gone, allegedly dismantled, or just hidden from public view, which means we're flying blind, or worse, trapped in a timeline chosen for us.
I'm not okay.
Next, a sampler platter of Black Ops madness, from Psychic Spies to Operation Midnight Climax. We're peeking into the CIA's most deranged side hustles, and we promise the names alone will make you want to burn your passport. Okay, now that we've destabilized time itself with looking glass, let's take a whirlwind tour through the CIA's greatest hits of government-founded derangement. Think of it like a conspiracy tasting menu. And yes, MK Ultra is on board. But we already served that dish in a past episode, so we just give it a nod and move on.
Can we call this segment Shit, the CIA Did That Sound Like Fan Fiction, but was funded with your tax money?
We absolutely can. Right, let's go. MK Ultra status confirmed, declassified. Era 1950s through 1970s. Mad scientists plus LSD plus human guinea pigs. Briefly, this was the CIA's mind control program. It involved drugging people without consent, torturing them psychologically, erasing memories, attempting to build Manchurian candidates,
or, as the CIA calls it, Tuesday.
If you want the full lowdown, go listen to our MK Ultra episode. It's one of our favorites, and also the reason Luke now side-eyes tap water. Number 2, we have Project Stargate, aka Operation Grill Flame or Sunstreak. The focus was remote viewing, aka psychic spying. The goal, train military psychics to see distant places, spy on the Soviets, and maybe even real minds. Status, that was real, declassified in 1995. Imagine being handed a top secret folder and it says, your mission? Stare at the wall until your astral project into a KGB office.
You know what? Respect. That's the kind of government job I could do.
They actually paid people to sit in a room and try to psychically locate submarines. Some even claimed it worked, like Ingo Swann, who said remote viewing the dark side of the moon and saw alien bases, which begs the question, why did we defund that program? One of these guys actually showed up in Joe Rogan's podcast as well not long ago. Number 3. Operation Midnight Climax. Yeah, that's the real name. The goal was to use sex workers and LSD to observe human behavior. The setting was a CIA-run brothels in San Francisco and New York. The status? Confirmed? Real? Disgustingly so. The CIA literally rented out apartments, tricked men into sleeping with spies, and filmed them tripping on LSD through a two-way mirrors.
Wait, what? That's not a conspiracy theory, that's just creepy frat boy energy with a federal badge.
Exactly. And it was part of MK Ultra's mind control research, as we mentioned on our episode. The whole thing sounds like a rejected Stanley Kubrick screenplay. Number 4. Project Artichoke or Project Bluebird, predecessors to MK Ultra. The goal was to create amnesia, brainwash assassins, test drugs for control and coercion. The methods were hypnosis, electroshock, forced morphine addiction, and withdrawal. The status of this one is confirmed. Before MK Ultra, the CIA was basically throwing darts at the human soul and calling it science.
These sound like Bond villain R&D departments.
5. Project Serpo. Status alleged. Goal secret exchange program between the US government and an alien race from Zeta Reticuli. This one is full tinfoil hat gourmet. The story is 12 American astronauts went on a 13-year trip to an alien planet in exchange for alien tech.
So basically, E.T. goes corporate.
The story only leaked in 2005, anonymous whistleblowers. No proof, just enough detail to make you stay up Googling at 2 a.m. Now, number 6. Project Monarch. The status is alleged, possibly a sub-project of MKUltra. Goal? Trauma-based mind control used to create dissociative alters in children. Used in, allegedly, in entertainment industry, super soldier creation, and Illuminati celebrity programming. This is the one that ties into the whole Britney Spears is a mind control puppet rabbit hole.
Okay, now I'm terrified and nostalgic.
Number 7. Operation Mockingbird. Status confirmed. Goal: infiltrate media to control public opinion. The method: recruit journalists to spread CIA-approved narratives. The era was 1950s onward. Some say still going. TLDR, the CIA basically said, let's create the news before anyone can.
Which begs the question, are we doing this podcast for the CIA without knowing it?
If a black SUV pulls up outside, just run. Now, number 8, Project Pegasus. Status is alleged. Goal is time travel and teleportation via quantum jumping rooms. Alleged participants: Andrew Basiago, Barack Obama, William Stillings claim they were trained as kids in jump room tech to teleport to Mars and back.
Nope, no. I draw the line at Mars.
You say that now. But when I come back next week from a Alpha Centauri with a tan and a six-pack, we'll see who's laughing. So, number 9, Project Bluebeam. Status: unconfirmed conspiracy. The goal: use holograms, satellites, and frequency weapons to stage a fake alien invasion or second coming. The purpose: one world government, global religion. This one's like the final boss of conspiracy theories. The idea that the elites will stage a giant holographic celestial event to unite us under one fake religion.
So Independence Day meets Hillsong.
Pretty much. If you suddenly see Jesus descending over London in K, maybe don't trust it right away.
So you're telling me the CIA has attempted, or at least considered, mind control, psychic spies, interplanetary diplomacy, weaponized sex, media manipulation, and possibly messing with time itself. And somehow the DMV is still the most chaotic government office I've ever experienced.
Coming up, we're going down the pop culture rabbit hole, from Hollywood scriptwriters brushing elbows with the CIA to MK-coded music videos, and why some believe the entertainment industry isn't just inspired by conspiracy, it's actively spreading it.
So, like, if Disney had a black site in Burbank?
Exactly. Or at least a trauma-based dance camp for the Musketeers. Alright, we've covered mind control, we've covered time travel, we even touched intergalactic diplomacy, but what happens when you want to control not just individuals, but the collective unconscious, the dreams, fears, and cultural mythology of an entire population? You don't need LSD or a jump room for that. You need Hollywood.
No, don't tell me Marvel's Phase 4 was actually an MK Ultra recruitment drive.
I mean, have you seen the color grading in the Eternal? Something sinister was afoot. Since at least the 1990s, the CIA has had official arm that works directly with Hollywood producers, offering access to equipment, expertise, and sometimes creative suggestions. Films like Zero Dark 30, Argo, 13 Hours, The Recruit, yes, even the Al Pacino one, all involved CIA script vetting, edits, and consultation. Which means if you watched a slick spy thriller in the past 2 decades, you might have just consumed state-approved narrative Kool-Aid with a side of popcorn.
Okay, but does this mean the CIA actually had script notes like, make torture look cooler, needs more enhanced interrogation?
Literally, yes. Zero Dark 30 was heavily criticized for its portrayal of torture as necessary for finding Bin Laden, despite the Senate report confirming that's not what happened. So let's connect the dots. Disney has had deep ties with defense contractor. Lucasfilm's tech division worked with DARPA. Pentagon plus CIA regularly coordinate with studios on military positive messaging in exchange for access to bases, jets, and troops. The predictive programming theory suggests that movies foreshadow real events, not as coincidence, but as mass psychological conditioning.
Okay, but like, what you're telling me Independence Day was prepping us for a Project Bluebeam scenario?
Not just that, try this on for size. The Lone Gunman X-Files spin-off aired an episode in March 2001 where a plane was remotely hijacked to crash into the World Trade Center. Captain America, the Winter Soldier, features predictive policing, AI targeting threats before they commit crimes, a la Project Insight. The Simpsons basically runs on prophecy. Let's talk Project Monarch, mind control, and the pop star factory. Allegedly, the theory goes Hollywood, particularly the music industry, is laced with trauma-based programming. Big names like Britney Spears, Miley Cyrus, Amanda Bynes, Kanye West have all shown signs of mental breakdowns, disassociation, or bizarre public episodes that match Monarch's triggering behavior in conspiracy lore. The butterfly imagery, checkerboard floors, the sudden personality splits. You can either call it artistic expression or MK Ultra breadcrumb trail, depending on how deep your Reddit tabs go.
All right, but who isn't disassociating in 2025?
Touche. But Ask yourself who benefits when pop stars collapse on cue, then come back rebranded and more marketable. CIA audio experiments, weaponized infrasound, subliminal messaging in radio, and voice-to-skull tech. Musicians have long accused labels of pushing low vibration frequencies, 440 Hz versus the alleged more natural 432 Hz. Project Pandora. CIA tried using microwaves and frequencies to alter moods and even cause hallucinations. Your playlist might be more manipulative than your ex.
At least my ex didn't implant thoughts in my skull via microwave cannon.
Well, that you know of. So what do we make of all of this? The CIA, Pentagon, and Hollywood aren't just bellfellows. They're creative partners, crafting a curated reality that teaches you how to think, feel, and fear. It's not just propaganda, it's a psyop entertainment.
And if Tom Cruise actually turns out to be an interdimensional handler, I'm going to need a trauma blanket and a DVD of Shrek just to feel safe again.
Alright, conspiracy crew, that's a wrap on our deep dive into the CIA's alphabet soup and how Hollywood's been moonlighting as the agency's biggest PR firm. If you thought Project Looking Glass was wild, wait until you hear what psychic warfare and Stargate have in store.
Yes, because apparently reading minds and remote viewing isn't just sci-fi mumbo-jumbo. It's official CIA business. I'm half terrified, half impressed, and 100% not ready for what's next.
So next episode, we are teleporting into the Hollow Earth, though. My favorite conspiracy theory. We will separate the CIA projects into 3 parts bi-weekly so we don't fry anyone's brain in the process.
I'm already stockpiling tinfoil hats. You never know when you'll need one.
Make sure you hit subscribe, leave us a rating, and if you got questions, wild theories, or just want to challenge us on anything, hit us up on socials or even email.
Until then, keep your eyes open, your mind wide, and your microwave off.
Cheers, and remember, the truth isn't just out there. It's right here, waiting for you to unpack it with us. Stay weird, stay wild, and until next week, bye!
Bye.